Welcome to Remnant Online Followers. Please kindly subscribe. Thank you.
Every man must shine. A man who does not shine is a slave of occurrences. Things will happen to him. It may not be happening now, but it will happen. The only thing that will shield you from happenings is when you begin to shine. Because when you begin to shine, you now make things happen. If you have not come to that level where you make things happen, things will happen to you. That's how the system works. Because spirits have come into the ecosystem. And this politics is a politics of dominion. You were created to dominate. When you stop shining, you lose the ability to dominate. And because you are no longer dealing with birds, fishes, and things that creep on the earth, but demons, those demons will dominate you. So you need to learn how to rule among spirits. The idea behind radiation is to rule. The idea behind shining is to rule in darkness. Christianity is not to come to church. You are a doctor. How many persons know that God is real because you are a doctor? That's the question the conference is asking. This is not about being an apostle or a prophet. This is about being a witness. Because when we were sent out, all of us were sent out as witnesses. You are in the business world. People interact with you. How come they marvel at your marketing capacity, but they have not seen something supernatural in you that has made them to ask you what is happening on your inside? It means you are shining forth marketing principles, but you are not shining forth God. And so no matter how brilliant you are in your occupation, if God cannot be traced to you, your existence is a denatured existence. Because when it says to shine, what it meant is for you to reflect God. There's a God dimension on your inside, and you begin to let it find expression. Thank God for certificate. Thank God for experience. But over and above certificate and experience, you know there is something in you that you didn't buy. You know there is something in you that you didn't read. You know there is something in you that is consistent with your DNA. Your spiritual DNA, because as he is, so are you, not in heaven, in this world. And so when men meet you, yes, they will interact with your training, but over and above your training, they will touch something about you that they know is not found in the university. It's not just to be good at physics. It's not just to be good at marketing. It's to be able to reflect God. That wherever you are, there will be no doubt as to who God is, or whether God exists. You will mirror God in his supernatural and superlative dimension to the point that no man can deny his existence. If he chooses to, it will not be out of ignorance. It will be out of rebellion. And so because of you, your word can be judged. This is the summary of the life of Noah. So a man who does not arise to shine, that man is a slave. That man is a victim. And the treacherous thing about darkness is that you may be a victim and not know. Until the day you leave your body, you will now discover the life you live was a lie. You know, in Africa, we suffer sickness, poverty, and then you may be quick to say, all these people talking darkness, darkness. Why is it only in Africa? The one in Europe is more. Because in Africa, we don't pride that a man is marrying a man. At least we still know the definition of marriage. We are not so learned, but we still know the definition of marriage. At least the ancient way the Bible defines it. We don't know much. They don't create planes there, but we still know some basic definitions. We've not lost it. So what we are talking about here is not Africa alone. It's heavy here. Because why it manipulates our circumstances, here it manipulates your emotions. And so somebody wakes up in the morning and says, I don't love the opposite sex anymore. I love people who look like me. And he thinks he's wise. He said, darkness shall what? Cover the earth. Gross darkness shall cover the people. He now said, but you arise and shine. Arise and shine. If you don't arise, you will not shine. The order of shining we are talking about here is not you being your best. It's at one level for you to be your best. But what God is saying is not, this is my best. No. The kind of shining God is talking about is the same kind of shining that God himself shines. We are the antidote to the operations of darkness. Darkness shall cover the earth, gross darkness shall cover the people, but that's not a problem. The problem is that Christians are not shining. Because if Christians were shining, the darkness would have become a platform. But unfortunately, we have not understood that the problem we complain about is actually our opportunity to shine. If we don't shine, darkness will not be subdued. You know, it's pathetic when Christians move around blaming people. We are not called to blame them. We are called to silence them. It said, the light shines in the darkness. The darkness comprehends it not. And so the Christian is not a being of complaint. It's a being of answers. Until you find yourself in Christ, you can't do anything that is worthwhile. Because there are many persons who believe because they study neuroscience, they will fulfill purpose. There is no purpose outside of Christ. Everything outside Christ is darkness. And until what you are doing, Christ becomes the force that determines how that thing is done. There's no purpose in it. Because there are many persons who will compromise God in order to advance what they are doing. Because they think what they are doing is superior to their work with God. So again and again, they sacrifice their work with God in order to go forward in what they are doing. When you journey to the end of the road, you discover it is death. Because there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, the end of that path is death. The only time you can fulfill purpose and walk through life meaningfully is when Christ has the preeminence. If Christ is not the preeminence, you have not found light and you are not yet shining. No matter how effective you are, at the end of the day, that thing can't define your essence. It cannot define meaning, and it can never bring fulfillment. Your true value is say, arise, shine, for thy light is come. The glory of the Lord is risen upon you. It says, Gentiles shall come to your light. They won't come to you. Nobody cares your skin color. Nobody cares about your height. Nobody cares about what you possess. It says, Gentiles shall come to your light. And it said, kings shall come to the brightness of your rising. So your true value is tied to the light that you have caught in God. If a man has no light, he has no value. And in our world today, because people lack value, they try to make value out of flesh. And so you see a young man, he spends all the time gymming for his chest to be bigger. If it's exercise, that's good. If it's for health purpose, that's good. But if it's to look better, you are a waste. A young lady scrapes all her eyelashes, use something, color it, they apply 7 colors of powder. By the time you are 38, even your skin will begin to tell you that your value is bigger than your skin. Because the skin will start giving way. The skin. The moment you give birth to 2-3 children, you will deshape. And so if your value was hanging on your physical body, before you are 40, you will know. Your value is not in your looks. It's in the light that beams out of you. The light. What is the ray? What is the radiation that beams out of you? That's where value is. And those ones, they never grow old because they are as eternal as the God that is emitted. They are as immortal, without corruption, as the God that is reflected. Find someone who beams the light of God. The older, the better. Because it's called Ancient of Days. The more you know, the more you want to know. The more you see, the more you want. Don't you know what the 24 elders do? Every time when the glory appears, they bow. When they bow and they lift up their eyes, they see another dimension. They bow. They rise up. They see another dimension. They bow. They've never exhausted the glory. Because anything that comes from God is immortal and is eternal. The more it beams, the more glorious it becomes. It's an excelling glory. And so when God calls us to shine, He's bringing us into an economy, a value system that cannot be gainsaid.